Hello, welcome to this session. We are in the second chapter, that is interprocess communications. Here we know there are four primitive operations: send, receive, connect and disconnect. So there is a concept of event synchronization, that means blocking of operations for proper execution of operations. See here, synchronous send and synchronous receive. Synchronous send and synchronous receive means both the operations send and receive has been blocked. See, this diagram is called an event diagram. See, process 1 running on host 1 and process 2 running on host 2. Process 1 is send operation, process 2 is receive operation. Process 1 send operation has been blocked here. So this dotted line indicates blocking of the operation. So here also in process 2 on the host 2, receive operation has been blocked. Okay, so that is both the operation send and receive has been blocked. That means synchronous send and synchronous receive. Okay, so in this case, a receive operation issued causes the suspension of the issuing process, that is process 2, until data is received to fulfill the operation. So here the receive operation, it issues, process 2 issues receive operation and it blocks that receive operation. And here process 1 issues send operation and blocks that send operation. So this process 2 will notify the process 1 that after receiving the expected data from process 1, acknowledgement will be sent to process 1 on host 1. Okay, so process 2, the IPC facility on host 2 will send an acknowledgement to process 1 that the data has been received. So eventually it will unblock the send operation. Okay, so here the blocking send starts, and see, the blocking send starts, and this dotted line indicates the blocking, and after the receive operation on host 2, the IPC facility on host 2 will send an acknowledgement message to host 1, okay, saying that the data has been received. So here, after getting the acknowledgement from host 2, this send operation will be unblocked. Okay, so for example, there is a possibility of the operation may not be fulfilled until the amount of data the receiver expects to has been arrived. Okay, so the synchronous receive operation may not be fulfilled. So here the synchronous receive, that is process 2 synchronous receive may not be fulfilled until the amount of data the receiver expects to receive has been arrived. Okay, for example, if process 2 issues a receive for 300 bytes of data, this process 2 is a receive operation. Process 2 issues a receive operation for receiving 300 bytes of data, and this send operation is process 1 on host 1. This send operation brings only 200 bytes of data, and it is possible for the blocking of process 2 to continue even after the first 200 bytes have been delivered. So here in such case process 2 will be unblocked until process 1 subsequently sends the remaining 100 bytes of data. See here, for process 1 issued the receive operation for receiving expecting 300 bytes of data, but our send operation brings only 200 bytes of data and 100 bytes are remaining. So this process 2 here, however, this receive operation has been blocked, isn't it? So this receive operation will be blocked until it the send operation brings remaining 100 bytes of data. Okay, so this is an event diagram that illustrates the synchronous send and receive operations. Here the receive operation issued causes the suspension of the issuing process until data is received to fulfill the operation. A send operation issued causes the sending process to, when the data sent has been received by process 2, the IPC on host 2 sends an acknowledgement to the IPC on host 1, and process 1 will be unblocked. So the synchronous receive may not be fulfilled until the expected data has arrived. For example, if process 2 issues receive operation for 300 bytes and send operation brings only 200 bytes, it is possible for process 2 to continue the blocking. Process 2 will not be unblocked until process 1 sends remaining 100 bytes of data. Okay. So now asynchronous send and synchronous receive. Asynchronous send and synchronous receive. See, asynchronous send, there is no blocking, and synchronous receive, see the dotted line indicates the blocking. Okay. So here in this receive operation, the receive operation issued will cause the suspension of the issuing process until data is received to fulfill the operation. So here process 2 is a receive operation. The receive operation has been blocked. Okay, receive operation has been blocked, and the send operation issued will not cause the sending process to suspend. So in this case, the sending process never blocked because it is asynchronous send. So acknowledgement is not necessary from the IPC facility on host 2 so there is no question of unblocking send operation on process 1, so the acknowledgement is not necessary. Okay, acknowledgement is sent to unblock the process, but process 1 is not blocked here. So IPC facility, the acknowledgement is not necessary from process 1 to process 2 to process 1. But here there is no guarantee that the data sent will actually be delivered to the receiver. For example, if the send operation is executed before the corresponding receive operation is issued. Okay, if send operation is executed before the corresponding receive operation is issued on the other side, it is possible that the data will not be delivered to the receiving process. Okay, so the data will not be delivered to the receiving process. So if the send operation is executed before the receive operation has issued, okay, so there is a possibility of the actual data will not be delivered to the process 2. Okay, so here in this diagram, asynchronous send and synchronous receive, a receive operation issued will cause the suspension of the issuing process until data is received to fulfill the operation. The send operation issued will not cause the sending operation to suspend. In this case, the process 1 is never blocked, so no acknowledgement is necessary to the process 2. So no acknowledgement necessary from process 2 to process 1. So here there is no guarantee that the data sent will actually be delivered to the receiver. So for example, if the send operation executed before the corresponding receive operation is issued on the other side, it is possible that the data will not be delivered to the receiving process. Okay. So next one is synchronous send and asynchronous receive. Synchronous send and asynchronous receive. There are 3 scenarios. Synchronous send means there is blocking of send operation. So the send operation has been blocked here, and process 2 and that receive operation has not been blocked. And here also in scenario 2, process 1, that is send operation, has been blocked, and process 2 receive operation, there is no blocking. And scenario 3, send operation, that is process 1, send operation has been blocked here, process 2 receive operation has not been blocked. Okay, so see that scenario 1 here, in this case the data requested by the receive operation has already arrived at the time when receive operation is issued. So in this case, the data delivered to process 2 delivered to immediately. Okay, here an acknowledgement from host 2's IPC facility will unblock process 1, because we need to unblock process 1, that is send operation has been blocked here. So immediate after receiving data on process on host 2, the process 2 will process 2 is receive operation, process 2 will send an acknowledgement to process 1 to unblock the send operation. Okay, so here in this scenario 2, blocking send issued, indefinite blocking. Why this indefinite blocking? So here in this in scenario 1, dotted line and blocking send issued, but after receiving acknowledgement from process 2, the blocking has been unblocked here. It will unblock the send operation. But here in this scenario 2, process 1, that is send operation issued, is blocked here, and it is indefinite blocking. So the data, see in this scenario 2, data requested by the receive operation has not yet arrived. Data requested by receive operation has not yet arrived. No data is delivered to the process. So here the process 2 has not received any data from process 1. Okay, but send operation issued and send operation has been blocked here, but process 2 has not received any data from process 1. So in this case, this blocking became here indefinite. Okay, because to unblock this send operation, process 2 should send an acknowledgement to process 1. So process 2 will send an acknowledgement only after receiving data from process 1. So but here process 2 has not received any data from process 1, so no acknowledgement is sent to process 1. So because of that, the blocking has become indefinite blocking. Okay, so in this case, process 1 is blocked indefinitely until process 2 reissues a receive request, okay, or an acknowledgement arrives from host 2's IPC facility. So how to unblock this process 1? It will be in a state of indefinite blocking until it receives a receive request, again a receive request from process 2, or an acknowledgement should be sent to process 1. Okay, so here, so next one is scenario 3, synchronous send and asynchronous receive. So synchronous send, here blocking, the dotted line says the blocking of send operation, and process 2 there is no blocking, so it is asynchronous. See here, the in scenario 3, the data requested by the receive operation has not yet arrived. Okay, data has not yet arrived, so receive operation has not accepted any data because data has not arrived, data has not yet arrived there. So the IPC facility of host 2 will notify process 2 when data it requested has arrived. Okay, IPC facility on host 2, that is process 2, host 2, the IPC facility will notify the host 2 when data has been arrived from process 1. So here there is a concept of listener or event handler. So it requires, so this case requires that process 2 provide a listener or event handler that can be invoked by IPC facility to notify the process of the arrival of the requested data. So here process 2 needs a event handler or a listener to notify when it receives the requested data from process 1. Okay, see in this synchronous send and synchronous receive, an asynchronous receive operation causes no blocking, asynchronous receive. So here in this scenario 1, 2 and 3, it is asynchronous receive, there is no blocking, and an asynchronous receive operation causes no blocking. See the scenario 1, the data requested by the receive operation has already arrived at the time when receive operation is issued. In this case, data is delivered to process 2 and acknowledgement from host 2's IPC facility will unblock process 1. So scenario 2, the data requested by the receive operation has not yet arrived. No data is delivered to the process. Process 1 is blocked indefinitely until process 2 reissues a receive request and an acknowledgement. So scenario 3, it is the data requested by the receive operation has not yet arrived. The IPC of host 2 will notify process 2 when data has arrived. It requires that process 2 provide a listener or event handler to notify the process of the arrival of the requested data. See next one, there is a concept of timeout and threading. So generally it is unacceptable to allow a process to be suspended indefinitely. So we can't allow a process to be suspended indefinitely. So there are, to avoid this problem, or there are two measures to address this issue. This issue means the indefinite blocking, a timeout. Okay, timeout we can use the concept timeout. Timeout may be used to set maximum period of blocking. So what is timeout? Setting a maximum period of blocking. After that period it will unblock the operation. Okay, timeout, that is setting the maximum period for blocking. After that period it will be unblocked. And one more technique is a program may spawn a child process or thread to issue a blocking operation, allowing the main thread to proceed with other processing while the child process or thread is suspended. See here, the main process will create a child process, and main process will continue with the execution and child will be blocked. Okay, see the blocking operation, child will be given a blocking operation and main process will execute further. Okay, so these are the two measures to avoid this indefinite blocking. First is one is timeout, other is thread or child process. There is a concept of deadlock and timeout. So indefinite blocking may also caused by a deadlock. A deadlock can result from operations that were issued improperly. Okay, deadlock can result from operations that were issued improperly. See in this diagram, process 1 and process 2. Okay, process 1 issues a receive from process 2, and process 2 also issued a receive from process 1, and process 1 and process 2 both are blocked. So these are synchronous operations. See here, in this case, the process 1, a blocking receive operation is issued to receive data from process 2. Process 1, the receive operation, it has given a receive operation and blocked. Concurrently, process 2 issued a blocking receive operation where a send operation was intended. Actually here process 1 also given the blocking receive, and process 2 also issued a process blocking receive. Actually process 2 should give blocking send operation. Okay, so here process 1 is expecting data from process 2 actually, because it has given a receive request, and process 2 also process 2 is expected to give a issue a send operation, but process 2 issued receive operation. So the operations issued improperly. Okay, so the process 2 issues a blocking receive operation where a send operation was intended. As a result, both processes are blocked awaiting data sent from the other, so which can never occur. So as a result, each process will be suspended indefinitely until a timeout occurs. Okay, so here both processes are expecting data from each other. Okay, process 1 also expecting data from process 2, and process 2 also expecting data from process 1, and it will never happen. Actually process 2 was expected to issue a send operation. So here the deadlock occurred here. So to avoid this, we can use a timeout technique to address this problem. Okay, so here in this process 1 in process 1 a blocking receive operation is issued to receive data from process 2. Concurrently, process 2 issues a blocking receive operation where a send operation was intended. As a result, both processes are blocked awaiting data from the other, which will never occur. So as a result, each process will be suspended indefinitely until timeout occurs. Okay.